Nico!
手加減いらんで。
Round 1. Fight.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Nico's World video. It's your boy Nico's World.
Nico!
And we are back. We are back. It's good to be back. So I had mentioned in my previous video in my description, I didn't make it loud. I didn't make it very public or whatever, but I was actually in a car accident recently. It was a little crazy, but you know, I'm back. Everything's fine. I'm okay. Everything's good. It sucks, but it is what it is. Be safe out there, guys. But yeah, forget all that. We're moving past that. Got good energy right now, and we're gonna go over some matches that I had. I haven't done a video like this in a while. It's been a fat minute, but the reception that I got from you guys, you said you really enjoyed these videos, and I'm happy to give that to you guys. And but I'm just gonna say this right now. I already had said that I'm not participating in rank. Playing on my PC here, in my PS5. I think I'm like Tekken Emperor right now. But I'm just not participating in ranked. I kind of don't see the point in doing that, right? To be honest, I don't pay attention to rank. I pay attention to the player that I'm fighting, right? So I really don't care about GOD level 1, 2s, because in my other account, I've fought like a couple GODs back to back, and I'm on like a 25 win streak on my PS5. So, and most of those players, I'm pretty sure GODs, I believe. I could be wrong, but yeah, that's besides the point. It's just I don't believe in the rank system right now, so I'm just not participating in it. That's just me though. That's just me. But forget all that. Let's just start this fight. Let's do this. Get rid of that damn thing. Oh, so already, right? That's a whiff. So the thing about how I see Lars, right? I see Lars as like, he's really good at baiting the opponent. He's really good at making them like overextend themselves. So the reason I did this at round start, right, is I did this into dynamic entry 1. And the reason why I do that is because it recovers really fast. It's really hard to punish on whiff. And if they run into it, you're very plus on hit. And if they block it, you're +1 on block. Everybody forgets that. Matter of fact, to be honest with you guys, I was actually thinking about making a video about this, of my favorite Lars moves. This move, Lars' dynamic entry 1, is insanely and incredibly underrated. I think that's low key one of his best moves. And you know, some people will be like, what are you talking about, blah blah blah. The thing is that you need to see the value in the little frames. You need to see the value in the little +1s, the +2s, the -1s. You need to see the value in those little frames, because why those frames are so valuable is because nobody knows that they're +1. You know, everybody knows Lars' dynamic entry is 3 is +5. Do you know that that's +1 on block? You probably don't. You know what that can lead to? You can't just jab. You know, you can't just, and if you're down for a 1, I can step. It gives me a lot of options if you block it. That low key, his Lars dynamic entry 1 is one of my favorite moves, and you should be using that as a Lars player. Another thing, I see a lot of Lars players do this a lot too. Don't always just go into stance off of your down forward 2. It is okay to do a down forward 2 and hold back. You do not always need to go into stance all the time. I see Lars players do this too often. Sometimes you need to think about safety rather than trying to get a mix-up, and then when you try to go for the mix-up, you end up getting launched. So don't be afraid to just do a down forward 2 and just hold that back button. Just hold that back button and just see what happens. You do not need to transition into stance from that all the time. I'm not saying that I don't do it, but I do it when I feel like I can get away with it, or when I have a good feeling about it. But do not always transition into stance. That's a bad habit that a lot of Lars players, myself included, do sometimes. You don't always need to go into stance off of that. That was a nice duck on her, but she was like kind of off axis. She would have got that if she just like stood there. So So let me point this out right now, right? So after heat smash, one thing that I always do, I'm not gonna lie, I do always do this. When my opponent is in rage, I'll usually do the high option, and reason being is because Lars is so plus in that situation, but the thing is that all of his options will lose to rage arts except all the highs out of his dynamic entry stance. So anytime my opponent is in rage and I am in stance after they block a heat smash, I always do the high options, usually, not all the time, usually, but it's just a good rule of thumb. If you think, as the Lars player, if you think that your opponent is going to do a rage art, do a high. Do a high. That will shut down the rage art. They cannot rage art past that. You're 2+, and that move comes out too fast. They can't rage art off of that. And also another thing I might add is that it's hard to punish even if they stay ducking, because that move recovers very fast. So it's a good option if you think that your opponent is going to rage art.
Round 2. Fight.
Nice. See, so one thing that another thing, right, that I want to add, you don't be afraid to delay your stances. I like to delay my stances sometimes because I like to let them like think about it, right? Like when I'm in your face, I want you to think about it. Like I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do? What do you think I'm gonna do? What do you think I'm gonna do? I hold it for like a solid second. You saw how he hesitated? You can literally see him like duck, stand up for a second, and then duck again. Like he couldn't. You see that? That little hesitation? He hesitated. And that's why I love that's one of my favorite moves from Lars, his dynamic entry 1. It's just a really good get-in tool. It's really fast, and the follow-up to heat engage, you know, it's just a good move. You should absolutely be using that. If you're not using that as a Lars player, you're wrong. Good punish. Block. Duck that. The reason that hit him is because he pressed. So when you sidestep and press, it makes your hitbox humongous. I don't really agree with that. Like, I don't think it should be that fucking big, but it is what it is. If he got hit by it, he was to my side. He probably shouldn't have got hit by that, but it's Tekken, right? That's happened to me countless times, so it is what it is. I'm gonna show the next fight.
Round 1. Fight.
So why did I finish that string? Why did I let that rip? The reason I let that rip is, so here's my thing, right? Play chess, not checkers, or play checkers, not chess, some shit like that. You know what I'm talking about. But the reason why I let that rip is because, so we fought before this match, right? We fought 3 times and I won all 3 of those times. But with each win, he was showing me some things that I was like, only a person that labbed Lars a little bit would know to deal with that, right? So what that told me is like, okay, he probably knows the matchup a little bit to some degree, to some shape or form, right? Since he knows the matchup to some degree, I'm going to use that against you. I'm going to finish things that you're like, make you go like, why would you finish that? I'm going to do things that make you go, that's punishable. Like, why would you do that? Because you know that. That's why I finished it. Because you know that, like, you know, people will probably think like, there's no way, like, he would never finish that because he know, like, I know that you know that it's punishable, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna finish it, you know. So it's just one of those things. It's one of those mind games where it's like, okay, like, I'm gonna punish you because you know the matchup to some degree. press.
Round 2. Fight.
So one thing I want to say, right? And I did this in the previous match. So the reason why I do this the reason why I duck in neutral like this is because it's a good way to like get away and create space from the opponent. But also, you can't just rush in when I do this, because if you rush in rambunctiously, you're gonna run into something like that, right? So he was probably thinking like, oh, you know, he did that, I could rush in and launch him, right? I'm like, no. If I did that on purpose because I wanted you to come in, I'm baiting you. When I see you come in, I'm looking for that counter hit. And again, I got fast options too. I got really fast options. Like, let's see. Matter of fact, let's do this. Yeah, like, you can't just rush in. I have options. You have to think about what you're going to do before you just rush in like that. That's why I do. Okay, so one thing that this is another thing that is incredibly underrated in the game of Tekken, and I don't see a lot of people doing this. As and Lars players, please do this. Jab pressure. Do not underestimate the power of a one jab. It is a very good tool, and again, it's one of those things where you have to see the value in it. You have to see the value in the little things. A one jab, what is a one jab? A one jab is +1 on block, it's +8 on hit. So what that means is you can't just jab back at me. My jab is gonna beat your jab if you try to jab back. You can duck, you can try to duck, or you can try to dick jab, but if I sidestep and you dick jab, like what, right? Like imagine if he try to dick jab in retaliation after that one jab, and I sidestep. It creates a special type of mind game where you really gotta have to think about what you're gonna do. A one jab is very strong if you know how to use it. Don't underestimate the power of a simple one jab. It's a very good tool. See the value in the little things. It's the little things that people don't pay attention to. Okay, so my mindset here, right? Honestly, I don't like this for me. Popping heat right after that, I don't like that. I probably shouldn't have done that. The only reason I really did it, to be honest, is because I was kind of feeling myself. I was kind of feeling pretty fast on my feet. I was feeling pretty confident on my decision making. So that's the reason why I did that. But I highly advise against doing that, because all he had to do was do a tiny sidestep, and I could have died for that. So I highly advise against that. Don't do as I say as I do, or some shit like that. I always mess up these sayings or these idioms, but yeah, don't do what I do. Don't do that. That's not good gameplay. That's dangerous. And another thing, so I'd say a good 90%, not 90%, maybe like a good like 75 to 80% of people, I've noticed this throughout almost everybody that I fight. Every time somebody gets hit by a heat burst or block a heat burst, I've noticed this. A lot of people like to sidestep. And the thing, I'm gonna tell you this right now, right? So I fought 20 something people before this guy, and during the matches that we had, I could tell that this guy is probably the best player that I fought out of all 20 of those people that I fought. Which means, what that tells me is, and like there was another thing that I was noticing, right? He was stepping when he should have been stepping. He was trying to duck and play, trying to duck lows and block them and punish them correctly. He was trying to duck mid-high strings. He was trying to play a little bit smarter than the rest of the people that I was playing previously. So I noticed that. I was like, he's not he's not a bad player. He's actually trying to make good decisions. But the thing is that since you're trying to play smart, I'm gonna punish you for that, because when I see somebody sidestepping when it makes sense to sidestep, or when I see them do things that make sense, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to do things that like to counter that logical decision. You know what I mean? So this guy has been trying to step a lot. He's been trying to kind of play a little bit more defensively. So I was like, he's not gonna retaliate. By me playing this guy, I'm like, he's not gonna retaliate. He's not gonna press. He's gonna step. That's why I automatically did back one. I'm like, he's gonna try to sidestep me. So I automatically did back one off rip, because he's been trying to play kind of, a little bit of fundies. So I was like, nah, I'm gonna shut that down. And another thing I noticed, right, with Lars in particular, I don't know why people do this, but every time somebody gets hit by Lars's back one, they disrespect. A lot of people disrespect Lars's back one on normal hit. I don't know why. Because if you notice, you tried to press right there. That's why it says counter. I don't know why people try to disrespect Lars's back one, because it's fairly plus on hit. It's like +4. It's enough frames to kind of make you go like, hey, you better think about that, So, but just to play it safe, since I'm in heat and since I did back one on hit, I just went for Rebellion. The reason why I went for Rebellion is because it just covers a lot of options, right? I hit you. People like to press on Lars's back one on normal hit, which this person tried to do. And basically, I'm an armored bullet. So you cannot just... first of all, he was too minus to even get that hit off that he did in the first place, which makes me more plus. Because as I said before in previous videos, Lars's Rebellion on hit, it technically is a mid. Lars's Rebellion on hit is plus like 10. So I am very plus in that situation. So now since you tried to retaliate, you made a bad situation even worse for you. Now you have to guess. There is no armor in this situation. There is no rage art in this situation. You have to guess when Lars hits you with Rebellion on hit. You must guess. And if you notice, another thing I tried to do, delay. Look at that delay. Look at that brief little delay. I delayed it so much you could almost see Lars like go back a little bit. Matter of fact, and I delayed it so much you can see him duck for half a second. You see that? And then he stopped. Don't forget to delay your stance transitions. Don't forget to delay it. It makes the mix up a little bit more scary.
Round 3. Fight.
See? Down forward 2, hold back. You don't always need to go in. Block. On punish. I thought that was actually a good. See, this is what I mean when this person is trying to play smart, because Asuka has a down forward 1 mid high in that string, right? So I ducked, and the thing is that I did duck in previous matches before. So he caught on to me ducking that string, and he did the mid. That mid, I think it's either -10 or no, not -10. I think it's either -12 or is launch punishable. Let me see. I'm curious, actually. I'm not sure. Oh, I need to. Yeah, it's -12. Okay. So I don't know why I thought it was. Actually, I did think it was launch punishable. But yeah, it's -12. But that being said, there is a mid-high string. I ducked it in previous matches. He adapted and did the mid option. So that was good on him. See that? See that? Look at that. That's just simple. I'm just doing a one jab. Look at the power of a one jab. See that? You see how it just kind of just works? We're in my favor when I do that. He's like, oh, I gotta duck. So he did that. Now it's still my turn. Now I went from a +1, just a simple one jab. Now I'm +5 in your face. And now you're dead. Let's move on to the last fight. Let's do this one.
Round 1. Fight.
Yeah, you better not finish that. Don't underestimate the power of Lars' dynamic entry 1. It is an amazing get-in tool. You should be using this. That is a really good get-in button. That's minus. Well, no, I think that's minus 14 actually. Let's see, curious. That's not minus 12 or 14. I know it's minus. I know that's minus 14. All right. That was bad on him. He didn't punish that, but with this right here, just kind of just free flowing, poking at him. See? Dynamic entry 1. Don't sleep on dynamic entry 1. It is a good move. Side step. Should have launched that. So right here, he pressed on that. I'm gonna remember that. That's only +3 on hit. They nerfed that quite a bit. That move was broken in season 1. It was unbelievably broken in season 1, but they nerfed it quite a bit where you can actually sidestep things now. Sidestepping is a good option after that. You could have launched it. So, and another thing right here, right? So, after this, I usually don't commit to the attacks in limited entry after Lars' 1-4. But the reason why I committed to them this time is because in the previous match, if you look, watch. Let me skip that. So watch. He didn't do anything. I checked him. I did my mid check, but I noticed that he didn't press. He didn't do anything. He just respected it. So basically, by me doing that, I'm confirming that you're not gonna do anything after that's blocked. I'm trying to confirm it. I'm trying to get like information off of you. Like, okay, are you gonna press? Since it's the first time of me fighting this guy, and I have no idea who this guy is. I don't know how he plays. I don't know if he's a mashy bitch. I don't know if he's a defensive player. I don't know what type of player he is quite yet. This is the first match. This is the first time I'm bumping into this guy. So I checked him while standing 4, but he didn't do anything. I'm like, okay. Right. All right. So I'm going to remember that.
Round 2.
I'm going to keep that in mind. So literally, put him in the same situation. Commit. Because you didn't press last time. And then he just, I don't know what he's doing.
Round 3. Fight.
See? I'm telling y'all, man, don't sleep on dynamic entry 1. Don't sleep on it. It is such a good tool to get in. It is so good. It's fast. It recovers fast. It's very plus on hit, and it's +1 on block. Do not sleep on dynamic entry 1. And you know, it's just good, man. It's just good. Highly recommend you should be using it. So all of that, I mean, so I fought this streamer, right? I fought this streamer. He was actually in my my part 18 Lars main video. And he said I had to one and done him because I had to go to work. But he was a gym player, and he said in the stream, he was like, man, this Lars player, all he does is just press. He just presses. My thing is like, well, bro, like, it's my turn. I'm not pressing like an idiot. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not just doing random things and just like, oh, you know, like, I'm just doing this. He's just pressing. I'm pressing because it's my turn. I'm not gonna not press if it's not my turn, unless I feel like I get a better option if I don't, right? But it's called controlled aggression. I know what I'm doing. I know how plus I am. I know this character like the back of my fucking hand. I know exactly what I'm doing. So when I press, I'm pressing with a purpose. Everything I'm trying to do has a purpose, right? So I kind of confirmed already that this guy, he's not super offensive. He's not. He kind of plays a little bit more on the defensive side. Like if I had like a scale, he's a little bit more defensive, which means that I can make his life a little bit of a living hell because I can make it to where he has to. I can make it to where he has to really struggle to defend. Just woke up and I mashed. I did. I mean, I have the light through. That's how it helps.
You win.
Yeah. So again, it's all about downloading your opponent. It's all about seeing how they react to certain things, certain strings. Another thing with how I interpret Lars, right? For me, Lars is a character where you have to be quick on your feet. You're like, to me, Lars is like, he's like the Kyrie Irving of Tekken. He is the Sonic the Hedgehog of Tekken. He's fast, right? He's fast, he's quick on his feet, and you have to be quick with him. You have to move with him, right? You have to think like, okay, I'm gonna do this, then sidestep, do this after this, and then do this, do that. Like, you have to really, like, you know, think, you know. Be quick with this character. Don't be slow. Don't lag behind Lars. Stay with Lars as you're fighting with him, right? You know, utilize his speed, utilize his dynamic entry, you know, bait the opponent, whiff punish the opponent, you know, he can get his offense going, he can get pressure going if you just punish accordingly where you're supposed to punish and move how you're supposed to move and utilize his tools correctly. You know, you can even use his bad tools in a smart way. A bad tool can be a good tool if you use it in a smart way. A strong tool can be a bad tool if you use it in a stupid way. Nobody told you to play stupid, right? Nobody told you to do that low. You keep doing that low. Why you keep doing that low? Nobody told you to keep doing that. Why do you keep doing that grab? Why don't he's obviously breaking the grab. Why do you keep doing the same grab? Do a one break grab. Like, why do you keep sidestepping when he's doing homing moves? Stop stepping. He notices that you're stepping. Stop stepping. You know, like, he has really good defense. He's blocking a lot of your lows. Stop doing lows. It's not. I don't think it's as complicated as people put it out to be. Like, move how your opponent is moving. You're ducking a lot. I'm gonna do some mids. I'm gonna just do straight mid. You're sidestepping a lot. I'm using homing moves. Like, it just comes down to what I move, how my opponent moves. Is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, that's my thought process, guys. That's how I think when I play this character. I like to be quick on my feet. I like to move. I like to move around. I like to dance on the opponent. I like to poke. I like to, you know, punish, you know, and when I get my offense going, I like to whoop that ass, right? So hopefully you guys learned from this. And let me know if you guys like these videos. I'm happy to do more, but thank you guys for watching as always.
Nico.
Appreciate the love and support. And yeah, I'll see you in the next Nico's War video, guys. Take care.